Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from group 3. In this video, we gonna discuss about quality of education in Indonesia.
Talking about quality. The quality of education will be blamed if it is not as expected. The quality of education involves two very important sides, namely the process and results. Quality in the educational process involves various inputs such as teaching materials cognitive, affective, or psychomotor. Methodology varies according to the ability of teachers, facilities, and infrastructure of educational institutions. Administrative support. Various resources and efforts to create a fair and comfortable learning atmosphere. Quality in the context of educational outcomes refers to the achievement achieved by educational institutions at a certain time. So, a quality education is education that can produce graduates who have the basic ability to learn, so they can follow it and even become pioneers in changing by optimally empowering educational resources through growth and conducive learning.
Why the quality of education is important? Well, education is a very basic thing that must exist in every life. Without adequate education, society will be trapped in ignorance. As a result, countries with low quality education will be easily colonized by other countries. Education has a very important role in building and advancing the nation. With education, a nation can develop its people to be smart and skilled. Besides that, good education can also increase reliable human resources, considering that this era has progressed which automatically affects economic development. Era benefits of education are not only limited to gaining knowledge. For individuals, education can be useful to improve the quality and well-being of a person, such as skill development, job opportunities, and career advancement. In addition, education can also provide benefits in the social sphere because it can be someone who opens jobs. By opening up jobs, we can increase the country's own income or help someone with their knowledge or welfare. So it is fitting that the field of work requires truly competent human resources to synergize together. Improving the quality of good human resources is also able to encourage Indonesia's competitiveness globally and able to move productive sector.
Along with the times, the level of education in the community has increased. Therefore, education is very important for society. Education is an institution that functions as a place to provide education or teaching, research, and community service. This research was conducted at a university in Surabaya where to improve the quality of education. The factor indication that determine the quality of education are the learning process, study, program curriculum, human resource, student affairs, infrastructure and facilities, academic atmosphere, finance, research and publication, community service, and governance. It is hoped that after obtaining indicator that affect the quality of education, the institution can increase its target so that the quality of education can be improved and can complete at national and international level.
After knowing things about the quality of education, now is the time to understand the quality of education in Indonesia today. The current state of education in Indonesia based on statistics in terms of quantity is indeed amazing. there has been tremendous gain in access to education opportunities. However, the quality of Indonesia education has not been brought of based on internationally agreed education quality indicators such as the Human Development Index or HDI, Progress in International Reading Literacy Study or PIRLS, and Program for International Student Assessment or PISA. All of them show that Indonesia's ranking is in the middle to low position. One of the student ability surveys released by the Program for International Student Assessment or PISA in December 2019 in Paris placed Indonesia in 72nd place out of 77 countries. This just confirms that the low education index is the reason for weak competitiveness. This indicator also shows that there is still too much homework in the education sector that must be completed by the Indonesian people.
The COVID-19 pandemic that is happening in Indonesia, currently testing the quality of education in Indonesia. The policy of studying from home or daring continues to reap the problems, while the government has not found an effective solutions. One of the reasons is because daring is too dependent on the internet. This is related to the internet quota that must always be filled during online learning, which is sometimes the biggest obstacle for students and their parents. The Ministry of Education and Culture states that online learning standards cannot be generalized to face-to-face meeting in school. Curriculum targets during the COVID-19 pandemic are also different from normal learning activities. We can demand quality against curriculum targets during a pandemic because the main goal is to maintain the health and safety of students, teachers, and families. But still, students lose the opportunity to learn as they should. Moreover, students are quite depressed when they have to be cooped up at home. Their movements are limited. They don't meet their friends. Especially, students get a lot of assignments with short deadlines, which makes students feel pressured. It's enough to bring frustration and boring for the students. Therefore, more attention is needed from parents and teachers in this case.
Education is a shared responsibility not only by the government, but also by the school, namely teacher, and family, namely parents. In principle, the teacher is responsible for the implementation of the teaching and learning process and for the learning materials, while the parents become facilitator, guides, even at certain time they participate as teacher at home. Several online learning support applications such as WhatsApp, Google Classroom, Google Meet, Zoom can facilitate this online teaching and learning process. And to reach their application, there is a need to improve technology capabilities by teacher, parents, and students, as well as internet quota subsidized by the government. If students experience stress in online learning, it can be interspersed with listening to music, playing games, watching movies, and of course, they are still under the supervision of parents.
Students have an important role in the intellectual life of the nation in improving quality of education. There are 4 roles that must be carried out by students. The first one is agent of change. Students play a role in making changes to the condition of the nations. From economic perspective, many Indonesians live below the poverty line. Students, as agents of change, are expected to be able to make changes to this nation through education. 2 is iron stock. In carrying out this role, students must have skills that are obtained from organizational experience on campus, and students must have noble character, so that the knowledge they can use can be used to do the good things. 3. Social control. Students play a role in controlling when they see symptoms that are not good in the midst of society. Students will control government behavior and that is against the law and is detrimental to the society. Moral force. Students are required to have good morals because students must be good at placing themselves and living side by side in the midst of the society.
So, the conclusions are the quality of education is the ability of the basic education system, both in terms of management and educational process, which is directed effectively to increase added value and input factors in order to produce the highest output. It's important because without adequate education, society will be trapped in ignorance, and as a result, countries with low quality education will be easily colonized by other countries. The factors that determine the quality of education are the learning process, curriculum, human resource, and others. And the problem of online learning are too dependent on the quota that must be always filled during the online learning. Moreover, students are quite depressed and bored when they have to be cooped up at home. Especially students get a lot of assignments with short deadlines, which makes students feel pressure. So, the solutions, we can use several online learning support applications that can facilitate this online teaching and online learning process. And there is need to improve technology facilities by teachers, parents, and the students, as well as internet quota subsidies from the government. And if students stress in online learning, it can be interspersed with some activity. And then there are four roles that must be carried out by us as a student. First, agent of change, and the second, iron stock, third, social control, and the fourth, moral force.
That's all our discussion about quality of education in Indonesia in this video. Thank you for attention and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.